Hello friends, today my topic is some basic concept of chemistry, class 11. Now, what is chemistry? Chemistry is the science of molecule and their transformation which deals with the study of matter, its composition, the changes that matter undergo and the relation between changes in composition and changes in the energy. Chemistry play an important role in the meeting human needs for the food, healthcare and products. केमिस्ट्री क्या है? केमिस्ट्री एक ऐसी साइंस है जिसके अंदर आप बच्चों क्या पढ़ेंगे? मॉलिक्यूल्स, देयर स्ट्रक्चर, देयर ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन, उनकी कॉम्पोजिशन, व्हेन दे चेंजेस फ्रॉम वन फॉर्म टू अनदर फॉर्म. All these are under the branch of chemistry. Now, what are the various branches of chemistry? Now, number one, organic chemistry. Now, this branch deal with the study of carbon compounds, especially hydrocarbons and their derivatives. ऑर्गेनिक केमिस्ट्री के अंदर बच्चों आप क्या पढ़ेंगे? एक तो कार्बन प्लस हाइड्रोजन एंड द डेरिवेटिव. नाउ हियर द डेरिवेटिव मीन्स हाइड्रोकार्बन्स विद नाइट्रोजन, ऑक्सीजन, sulfur, etc. These are called organic compounds and their derivative. Now, second, inorganic chemistry. The branch deals with the study of compounds of all other elements except carbon. In inorganic chemistry, you study all the elements, all the compounds, but except carbon. Clear? Now, this is called inorganic chemistry. Now, next is the physical chemistry. Now, the explanation of the fundamental principle governing various chemical phenomena is the main concern of this branch. Under this branch, we study various theories, laws, all basic concepts of chemistry we study in this physical chemistry. Now, next is industrial chemistry. Now, the chemistry involved industrial process is studied under this branch, like qualitative and quantitative analysis of various substances is under the industrial chemistry. Now, next one is the biochemistry. This branch deals with the chemical changes going in the bodies of living organisms like plants, animals, even in the human beings. Under this chemistry बच्चों हम क्या पढ़ेंगे कि आपकी बॉडी, प्लांट्स के अंदर, एनिमल्स के अंदर जो वेरियस रिएक्शंस हो रही हैं वो हम किसके अंदर पढ़ते हैं? बायोकेमिस्ट्री के अंदर. Now, next is nuclear chemistry. Now, all the nuclear reactions such as nuclear fission, nuclear fusion, transmutation processes all study under this branch. Now, next is importance of chemistry. Now, what is the importance of chemistry? Now, as you all know, chemistry plays a central role in the science and is often intertwined with other branches of science. ये other branches के साथ भी क्या है वो जुड़ी हुई है. Now, the principle of chemistry are applicable in diverse areas like weather pattern, functioning of the brain, operation of a computer, production of chemical industries, manufacturing fertilizers, alkali, acids, salts, dye, polymers, drugs, soap, detergent, metals, alloys, etc., including new materials. Under this chemistry branch, we deal all these substances that form in this branches. Now, next, chemistry contribute in the big way to national economy. कि आपकी नेशनल इकोनॉमी का भी बहुत बड़ा कंट्रीब्यूशन है किसका? केमिस्ट्री का. Now, it also play an important role in the meeting human needs for the food, healthcare, products, and other material aimed at improving the quality of life. Now, the some basic terms that is related with the chemistry. Now, first one is matter. Now, what is matter? Now, you knew that in lower classes that you already studied that what is matter. Now, what is matter? Matter, anything that occupies space and having mass. बच्चे जिसके पास मास हो गया और जिसने क्या ले ली है? जगह ले ली है, वॉल्यूम ऑक्यूपाई कर ली है, तो वो क्या कहलाएगा आपका? मैटर. जैसे बुक, पेन, पेंसिल्स, वाटर, एयर, ऑल लिविंग बींग्स आर इंक्लूडेड इन द मैटर. Now, here is the classification of the matter. Now, according to their properties, matter can be classified into two types: physical classification and the chemical classification. Now, physical classification is solid, liquid, and gas. And on the basis of chemical classification, substances are pure and the mixture. Now, pure substances is of two types: elements and compound. And elements are also of three types: metals, non-metals, and the metalloids. And here the compounds may be organic and may be inorganic. Now, here mixture is also the two types: homogeneous mixtures and the heterogeneous mixtures. Now here the classification of matter on the basis of physical classification. Here you have studied that there is a three types of matter, that is solid, liquid, and gas. Now here some differences between the solid, liquid, and gases. Now the number one, they have fixed shape and volume. Liquid do not have fixed shape but have fixed volume, and gases do not have fixed shape as well as volume. Number two, solid, they cannot be compressed. You can't compress solid because there is no effect of pressure on the solid. Now liquid is also not be compressed, but the gases can be compressed. Number three, they have high density, but liquid have moderate density, but the gases have very low density. Number four, they do not flow, but as you all know, the solid does not flow because the particles are very close to each other. But liquids and gases both are flow, so they are called the fluids. Now next, they do not fill their container. सॉलिड कभी भी किसी कंटेनर को completely fill नहीं करता. Liquid also do not fill their container, but the gases fill their container. Why the gases fill the container? Because the particles are moved very far away from each other. Now in case of solid, the force of attractions are very strong, but in case of liquid, force of attractions are weaker than the solid, but these are weakest in the gases. Now number 7, kinetic energy. Now what is kinetic energy? Kinetic energy is the energy possessed by the body due to motion. As you all know, in solid, particles are not moving, so they have least kinetic energy. But in case of liquids, kinetic energy is more than the solid. But in case of gaseous, kinetic energy is the maximum. Number 8. Now particles are closely packed, but in case of liquid, particles are not closely packed. But in gases, they are farther, they are far away from very each other. Now for examples, chair, table, chalk, book. Now in liquids, water, petrol and cold drinks. And in case of gases, oxygen, nitrogen and helium. Now there is some difference between the vapors and the gas. Now what is vapors? Now vapors represent a gaseous state of a substance which is liquid at room temperature, but a substance which exists in the gaseous state at room temperature is called a gas. Now vapors, जब भी किसी liquid को आप room temperature पर boil करेंगे, then you get the state of vapors. But when a gas exists as a gaseous state at the room temperature, then it is called a gas. For example, ammonia is the gas, hydrogen is the gas, oxygen is the gas. But you boil water, then it forms vapors. Now next is chemical classification. Now all kind of matter are classified into two types, maybe homogeneous and maybe heterogeneous. Now material is said to be homogeneous if it is uniform composition, identical properties throughout. Or a material is said to be homogeneous if it consists of only one phase. बच्चों homogeneous किसको बोलते हैं? Now homogeneous mixtures are the mixtures that you have seen only single phase, thoroughly mixing, like sugar in water, salt in water. When you dissolve sugar in water, sugar completely dissolve in it. You can't see the this sugar particles or the salt particles in the water. That means you have the homogeneous mixture. In case of air, you can't see the where is oxygen, where is hydrogen. You have seen only a single phase, that is the gaseous phase. Now next is alloys. Alloys are the mixture of metals and the mixtures of metal and non-metal. For example, steel, brass, bronze. Clear? But you can't see because you know that steel is made up of iron and carbon. But after seeing the steel, you can't say the where is the steel and where is the iron and the where is the carbon. So alloys is also the homogeneous mixtures. Now what is heterogeneous mixtures? A material is said to be heterogeneous mixture if it consists of a number of gases. The different phases are separated from each other by distinct boundary. अगर आपको किसी मिक्सचर में if you see two or more than two phase, then it's called heterogeneous mixture. For example, oil in water, sand in water. You see that in sand in water, you see a phase of a sand and a phase of a liquid. There are two phases. One is solid phase and one is liquid phase. So you have see the distinct boundary. Then it means it is a heterogeneous mixture. So this is the flow chart of the matter mixtures and the pure substances. Now next is the elements. Now all of you know that element is the purest form of matter and is always made up of single type of particle. Example, carbon, iron, sodium, potassium, lithium, iron, copper, zinc, oxygen, hydrogen, neon, argon. All these are the elements. Now next is compounds. Compounds is the substance which is made up of two or more elements combined together in a fixed ratio by weight. For example, CO2, water, calcium carbonate, sodium chloride. As you see in the compounds, कि when two or more elements, जब दो या दो से ज़्यादा elements आपस में क्या करेंगे बेटा, combine करेंगे, but fixed ratio by mass. For example, CO2. Here, carbon mass, you all know that 12, oxygen mass 16, but 2 oxygen 32. So the ratio is 12 is to 32. In water, 1 is to 8. So this is the ratio of the elements that combine together to form a compound. Now next is the mixture. Mixture is the substance which is made up of two or more substance in any ratio. किसी भी रेशियो में वो जुड़ जाएंगे. एग्जाम्पल, शुगर प्लस वाटर, सोडियम क्लोराइड प्लस वाटर, सैंड प्लस वाटर. क्लियर बच्चों कि मिक्सचर क्या है कि जब दो या दो से ज़्यादा सब्सटेंस आपस में मिक्सअप करते हैं बट इन एनी रेशियो, दे डोंट हैव द फिक्स्ड मास रेशियो. दिस इज कॉल्ड द मिक्सचर. नाउ यू नो दैट मिक्सचर इज ऑल्सो ऑफ टू टाइप, homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. As I told you earlier, if the uniform composition throughout the mixture, that is called homogeneous mixture. For example, sugar in water. Okay. Now next is heterogeneous mixture. If the mixing does not have the uniform composition throughout, for example, sand in water. Now here some basic terms, that is the atom. Now what is atom? Now we know that matter is made up of atom. इसका मतलब smallest term is the atom. Now atom is the smallest particle which may exist free but take part in the chemical reaction. वो कहता है हम क्या कहते हैं, एटम फ्री एग्जिस्ट भी करता है, क्लियर, और नहीं भी करता है, लेकिन पार्टिसिपेट करेगा किसके अंदर, केमिकल रिएक्शन के अंदर. क्लियर. एग्जाम्पल, हाइड्रोजन, sodium, oxygen. Here you can see in nature hydrogen exists as H2, hydrogen molecule. Oxygen exists as O2, oxygen molecule. But we are study about the atom, so you have to take the single atom like hydrogen, oxygen. Clear? Now next is the International System of Units. That means SI units. Now listen, क्या होता था बहुत टाइम पहले, पुराने ज़माने में जब भी हम किसी चीज़ की मेजरमेंट करते थे, जनरली पीपल यूज द दिस वेरियस मेथड लाइक हैंड स्पैन, फुट स्पैन, क्यूबिट, ये मेथड यूज करते थे. बट दीज मेथड्स आर द नॉट रिलायबल बिकॉज दे चेंजेस फ्रॉम पर्सन टू पर्सन. even place to place. So due to this reason, कि भाई this changes from place to place or the person to person, so they need some standard unit which is recognized by all over the world. So due to this reason, this a conference that will be established in 1960 by 11th General Conference on the weight and measure. Clear? Now this conference decided that there are the 7 fundamental scientific quantities. Now these scientific quantities are length, that is represented by L. Unit is meter. Mass, kg. Time, second. Current, ampere. Temperature, Kelvin. Amount of substances, mole. And luminous intensity, candela. So these are the 7 basic SI unit. Clear? Now next one. These are some multiples that we have generally used in our chemistry numericals problem. Here are some multiples that like 10 to the power minus 24, yocto minus 21, zapto minus 18, atto minus 15, femto minus 12, pico minus 9, nano minus 6, micro minus 3, milli 10 to the power minus 2, centi minus 1, deci and 10 is deca. Here are some multiples. Now 10 deca, 10 to the power 2 hecto, 3 kilo, 6 mega. So these are the multiples. Now next is, now here you have studied that 7 basics SI unit. Now the some basic unit of SI units. Now first one is meter. Now how can we define the meter? Meter को कैसे define करेंगे बच्चे हम? Now meter क्या है? Meter is the length of the path traveled by light in vacuum during a time interval of 1 by 299,792,458 of a second. Now what is meter? मीटर एक लेंथ है. किसकी लेंथ है? पाथ है वो एक जो ट्रेवल किया गया है. किसने ट्रेवल किया है? लाइट ने वैक्यूम कंडीशन में. और उस पाथ को ट्रेवल करने के लिए टाइम कितना लिया गया है? दैट इज द फ्रैक्शन टाइम, दैट इज 1 by 299,792,458 of a second. Now this is called meter. Now kilogram. Kilogram is the unit of mass and it is equal to the mass of the international prototype of the kilogram. Now next is the second. Now what is second? Second is the duration. Second क्या है? Duration है. कितनी duration है? Duration of 9192631770 periods of the radiation corresponding to the transition between two hyperfine level of the ground state of cesium-133 atom. Next one is ampere. Now ampere is the current, or you can say constant current, if maintained in two straight parallel conductors of the infinite length, negligible area, placed 1 meter apart in vacuum, would produce between these conductors a force equal to 2 into 10 to the power minus 7 newtons per meter of the length. तो एम्पियर क्या है? एम्पियर करंट की वैल्यू है. और जो कब होता है वो? when those two straight parallel conductors of infinite length, negligible area, are placed 1 meter apart and would produce between these two conductors a force which is equal to the 2 into 10 to the power minus 7 Newton per meter of length. Now that is called the ampere. Now next Kelvin. Kelvin is the unit of temperature. तो ये है क्या? Now it is the fraction. 1 by 273.16 of the thermodynamic temperature of the triple point of water. Now triple point of water means where all the three states of the water coexist. Now mole. Mole is the amount of substance. Mole क्या है बच्चे? एक amount है किसी भी substance का, and which contain as many elementary entities as there are atoms in 0.012 kilogram of carbon 12. मीन्स मोल क्या है? एक अमाउंट है सब्सटेंस का और उसके अंदर उतनी ही केमिकल एंटिटीज हैं. नाउ व्हाट इज एलिमेंट्री एंटिटीज? लाइक एटम, आयंस. These elementary entities जो 0.012 किलोग्राम कार्बन 12 के अंदर होती है. Now candela is the luminous intensity in a given direction of a source that emit monochromatic radiation. Now what is monochromatic radiation? The radiation which travel in only one direction of frequency 540 into 10 to the power 12 hertz, where the hertz is the unit of frequency, and has a radiant intensity in that direction of 1 by 683 watts per stadian. Now this is called candela. Now next is the uncertainty in measurement. Now what is uncertainty? Now आप जब भी कोई न्यूमेरिकल बच्चे हम सॉल्व करते हैं, whether it is practical or whether it is in the theoretical, there is an uncertainty in our digital values. Now all the scientific measurement involves certain degree of error. आप जब कभी भी कुछ सॉल्व करेंगे तो उसके अंदर कुछ एरर आता है. Now scientific notation, scientific figures, dimensional analysis help us in many ways to presenting of data and theoretical calculation. तो ये हमारा साइंटिफिक नोटेशन हो गया, साइंटिफिक फिगर्स हो गया, डायमेंशनल एनालिसिस, ये सब हमें हेल्प करते हैं अपने डाटा को थ्योरेटिकल फॉर्म में अपने डाटा को एक्सप्रेस करने के लिए. नाउ अब हमें ये देखना है व्हाट इज साइंटिफिक नोटेशन. Now what is scientific notation? If the exponential notation in which any number can be represented in the form of n into 10 to the power n, like you know that it is 2 into 10 to the power 3, 2 into 10 to the power minus 3. Now this is called the scientific notation, where n is the exponent having positive or negative value, and n can vary from 1 to 10. Thus, for example, 232.508 can be written as 2.32508 into 10 to the power 2. Now, this is the scientific notation. Now, precision and accuracy. What is precision and what is accuracy? Now, precision refers to the closeness of various measurement for the same quantity. Precision क्या होता है? Suppose बच्चे you are doing the practical in your lab. Now you got the 3 reading, ठीक है? But these 3 reading are very close to your true value. Now this is called precision. However, accuracy is the agreement of a particular value to the true value. But in case of accuracy क्या होता है कि आपकी एक ऐसी रीडिंग जो किससे मैचअप करती है? आपके ट्रू वैल्यू से. Now that is called the accuracy. Let us the true value of a quantity is 3.9. तो सपोज आप मानिए कि जो एग्जैक्ट आंसर है आपके क्वेश्चन का दैट विल बी द 3.9, बट इट्स मेजरमेंट टेकन बाय द 2 बॉयज. लेकिन जो मेजरमेंट की है 2 बच्चों ने दैट इज 3.6 एंड 3.9. तो 3.9 हियर इज द 3.8 इज मोर एक्यूरेट. है द 3.8 क्या है आपका? एक्यूरेट है बिकॉज इट इज क्लोज टू द this real value or the true value, as it is closer to the true value. Similarly, 3.85 is more precise than 3.9. Now next is significant figures. Now when you calculating the numerical, you get the answer. In your answer, some are the significant figures that you have to choose. Now first one is the total number of digits in measuring of any physical quantity with certainty is called significant figure. क्या है कि आपका जितने भी डिजिट होते हैं किसी भी फिजिकल क्वांटिटी को मेजर करने के लिए वो उनमें एक सर्टेनिटी होती है. नाउ दैट इज कॉल्ड द सिग्निफिकेंट फिगर. तो सिग्निफिकेंट फिगर को डिटर्मिनेशन करने के लिए, डिटरमाइन करने के लिए कुछ रूल्स अप्लाई करने होते हैं. नाउ हियर फर्स्ट रूल, all the non-zeros are significant. For example, 285 centimeter. Here all these 3 digits are significant. So the significant figure is 3. Now rule 2, zeros to the left of the first non-zero digit like 0.03 or 0.03 or 0.0003. Here जितने भी आपके non-zeros हैं, जो zeros आपने लिखे हैं left to the non-zeros, these are not significant. In case 0.03, all these have the only one significant figure. Now 0 to the right of the decimal point. आर सिग्निफिकेंट। जो जीरोस राइट साइड पे रखते हो वो आपके क्या होते हैं, सिग्निफिकेंट होते हैं। नाउ 0.200, तो जब आप राइट साइड पे पॉइंट्स के बाद जीरो रखते हैं तो ऑल दीज जीरोस आर सिग्निफिकेंट। जैसे 0.200 हैज़ 3 सिग्निफिकेंट जीरो। सो इसका मतलब क्या हुआ बच्चे, कि लेफ्ट साइड पे अगर ज़ीरो रखे हैं तो वो सिग्निफिकेंट नहीं होते, लेकिन राइट साइड पे अगर आप ज़ीरो रखते हो तो वो क्या होते हैं, सिग्निफिकेंट होते हैं। अगर इफ़ यू हैव ज़ीरोज़ इन टू नॉन ज़ीरो डिजिट्स, अगर नॉन ज़ीरो डिजिट्स के बीच में ज़ीरोज़ हैं और जितने भी हैं ऑल दीज आर सिग्निफिकेंट, फॉर एग्जाम्पल 2.005, तो हेयर द सिग्निफिकेंट फिगर इज 4। नाउ नेक्स्ट इज काउंटिंग द नंबर ऑफ ऑब्जेक्ट्स। नाउ जब आप किसी नंबर्स की क्या करते हैं, काउंटिंग, फॉर एग्जाम्पल 26 balls or 20 eggs have the infinite significant figure, clear, and can be represented by writing infinite number of zeros after placing a decimal। एक डेसिबल पॉइंट के बाद आप कितनी भी जीरो लगा सकते हैं, जैसे 2.0000, यानी 20 को आप लिख सकते हैं 20.00000, clear। So these are the significant figures. Now my next is topic is law of chemical combination. Now here all the chemical reaction, as we all know, आपकी जितनी भी chemical reactions होती हैं वो कुछ laws को govern करती है। Now these laws are also called the law of chemical combination. Now the first law, that is law of conservation of mass. Now this law was put forward by the Antoine Lavoisier. You know बच्चे, Antoine Lavoisier is also the father of chemistry. क्लियर, एंटोनियन लेवोजियर ने ही हमें बताया था, अकॉर्डिंग टू दिस लॉ मास ऑफ एन रिएक्टेंट इज ऑलवेज बी इक्वल टू मास ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट। ये लो क्या कहता है कि जितना आप केमिकल रिएक्शन में रिएक्टेंट का मास लेंगे वो बिल्कुल किसके इक्वल होगा, प्रोडक्ट के मास के। नो सेकेंड लॉ इज लॉ ऑफ कांस्टेंट प्रपोर्शन गिवन बाय जोसेफ प्राउस्ट, JL प्राउस्ट। Now अब ये क्या कहते हैं, as you all know, when the elements combine together to form the compounds, but these compound have fixed ratio by mass. As already told you in CO2, the ratio is between carbon and oxygen is 12 and 32. Just like in water, 2:16 or 1:8. Now third law is law of multiple proportion. Now what is law of multiple proportion? देखो name as the name does indicate, multiple यानी बहुत सारे, कई तरह के, तो ये कहते हैं this law is given by the Dalton. Now what the Dalton say? Dalton says when two or more elements combine together, but it's not fixed that they give the only one type of compound. They can give two or more than type of compounds. For example, when carbon and oxygen combine together, it form carbon monoxide as well as carbon dioxide. But the ratio are fixed in both the cases. In carbon monoxide, that is 12:16, but in case of CO2, that is 12:32. Now next law is law of reciprocal proportion. Now it states that the ratio of weight of two elements A and B. अब ये रेसिप्रोकल क्या कहते हैं, लॉ ऑफ रेसिप्रोकल क्या कहता है कि भी रेशियो ऑफ वेट ऑफ टू एलिमेंट्स A and B विच कंबाइंड सेपरेटली, दो एलिमेंट्स हैं A and B और जो किसी तीसरे के साथ कंबाइन करते हैं और तीसरे का जो मास है वो फिक्स है, क्लियर। Two elements A and B which combine separately with the fixed weight of third element C, either same or whole number of the ratio with each other and also with the third element C. For example, ratio of mass of carbon and sulfur which combine with the fixed mass 32 parts of oxygen is 12:32. भाई कार्बन और सल्फर का ऑक्सीजन, कार्बन और सल्फर का जो रेशियो है और प्लस किसके साथ, ऑक्सीजन के साथ, उनका रेशियो कैसा आता है, होल नंबर रेशियो आता है, एंड दैट रेशियो विल बी द 3:8. Now next is the Gay-Lussac law of gaseous volume. Now this law was given by Gay-Lussac in 1808. He observed that when gases combine or produced in a chemical reaction. They do so in simple ratio by volume, provided all gases are at the same temperature and pressure. तो गेल-यूजे क्या कहते हैं कि अगर आप रिएक्शंस करा रहे हो, किस में करा रहे हो, गैसेस में करा रहे हो अंडर एट कांस्टेंट टेम्परेचर एंड प्रेशर पर, तो जितनी भी गैसेस आप कंबाइन कर रहे हो वो कॉम्बिनेशन से पहले या फिर कॉम्बिनेशन के बाद they have the simple whole number ratio. Then one volume of hydrogen and one volume of chlorine react together to form two volume of HCl. So here the ratio is 1:1:2. Now next is Avogadro law. This is very much similar to Gale-Lussac law. Now the Avogadro proposed that equal volume of all the acid at the same temperature and pressure should contain equal number of molecules. Now what the Avogadro law say? That is V directly proportional to N, where V is the volume of the gas, N is the molecule. तो Avogadro law क्या कहते हैं कि भी अगर आप गैसेस लेते हो तो उनकी इक्वल वॉल्यूम ऑफ ऑल द गैसेस ऑलवेज proportional to the molecules. Okay, now here some topics of chemistry that we have explained by me. So thank you. Bye bye.